I'm not sure if it's recording. Yeah, I think it's recording. Okay, so we're back again in our lecture, reading in preschool, okay? I did give you some work to do. I did ask you to write 250 words or at least half. So this is a reading course as well. So you're not only learning how to write children's stories, but you're also going to learn how to read, because you need to be a role model in how you read, okay? So what I'll start off with, I want people to read their stories, and then I want people to comment on the stories. So we are going to comment on how they've read, how fluently have they read, the pronunciation, whether words were clear, whether the story was engaging, the storyline, is it original, okay? And then we're going to comment. So I'm just going to give you some ideas on how to perfect that assignment, okay? Is it clear? Yeah. Rather than me marking and then correcting it. I will still mark it, but at least I need to give you feedback in the class, okay? So, when we are reading, we're looking at the practical part of reading, okay? Reading practical, okay? Of children's stories, children's literature, okay? Today is the 6th, is it? 7th. So we're going to comment on the originality of the story that you've written. You can't plagiarize, you cannot copy someone's story, you can get sued, okay? What you can do is the only thing that you can copy is folklore stories, okay? Stories that were orally passed down from one generation to another. But you cannot copy someone's published work. You have to get permission, and it's only 20% of that work that you can copy. And you have to acknowledge that you've taken some of their ideas. Is it clear? So when you're reading your story, I am going to assess, and we're all going to evaluate the originality of the story itself, okay? And then we're also going to look at the reading skills, okay? So how well have you read in terms of your fluency, in terms of pronunciation, because these are different, okay? Is it engaging? Have you engaged the readers? Okay? And then also looking at the language devices. So language and figurative devices. Okay? And then the format, the type of genre it is. Type of literature genre. Is there space to charge my phone? Okay, I'll charge it up a little bit. Okay, who wants to start? Yes. Be loud and clear so that they can also hear those who are online and at home. Sorry?
Okay. The Three Little Pigs.
The Three Little Pigs.
Yeah.
Okay? That's your story. Okay, can you read it?
Once upon a time, there was an old man pig who had three little pigs and not enough food to feed them. So when they were old enough, he sent them out into the world to seek their families. The first little pig was very lazy. He didn't want to wait at all, and he built his house out of stone. The second little pig worked a little bit hard, but he was somehow lazy too, and he built his house out of sticks. Then they sang and danced and prayed together the rest of the day. The third little pig worked hard all day and built his house with bricks. It was his sturdy house complete with a fine fireplace and chimney. It looked like it could withstand a stormy sea. The next day, a wolf happened to pass by the lake where the three
Okay, I think to be fair, let everybody read and then I'll comment at one go. At once, because then it's not fair. Okay? Yes, because people are going to improve. Okay, the second person, yes.
The title is Ginger for Giraffe.
Ginger
Yeah,
for
giraffe.
for okay, I'll comment later. Okay? Okay?
Once upon a time, there was a giraffe named Ginger.
Mhm.
Ginger lived in Kenya, a country in Africa. Like all giraffes, Ginger had a long neck and long legs. Because she was tall, she was able to eat food from the very tops of the trees in the savannah. The savannah in Africa is an area with lots of grass and some trees. Sometimes a savanna called grasslands. The other animals like zebras and antelopes could not reach where Ginger could reach. But Ginger always found food. She loved the leaves and the new buds of the trees. One day, Ginger was busy eating her favorite leaves along with some other giraffes. It was a bright sunny day and there was not a cloud in the sky. It had not rained for a long time, so the grass was very dry. She held a nose down at the bottom of her extra long eggs. It was her friend, Mick, the monkey. Mick was trying to say something, but Ginger could not understand what he was saying. He looked very tired. "What's wrong?" asked Ginger. Ginger was a very kind giraffe and wanted to help everyone. Just the Mick fell over, she knew what was wrong. Mick could not find anything to eat and he was very hungry. Ginger nibbled some fresh, tender leaves and buds from the top of the tree where she was eating. She dropped some of the leaves and buds to the ground near where Mickey was. Then she nudged in a little with the hoof at the bottom of one of her very long legs. "Wake up, Mickey," said Ginger. "I have found something for you to eat." Slowly, Mickey sat up and ate a little.
Okay. The next person. The title.
Melina's lucky.
Sorry?
Melina's lucky.
Belinda's.
Melina's.
How do you spell it?
M-E-L-I-N-A.
Yes? N-A.
Yeah.
Okay. Melila's
Lucky.
luck. Okay?
Marina was the only daughter of Mrs. Miranda. Marina lived at Marana village near the famous Casquito Bridge in Muzinda district. Marina was a student at Shirida Eden Primary School. Living was hard for Marina and her mother, as she went through a lot to get her child to school and as she was a single parent and because Marina was born crippled. Marina had few friends at school as a lot of people used to discriminate her because of her problem. Her few friends used to ask her where her father's siblings were as the only person she mentioned was her mother. This made Marina want to go ask her mother. One day when she got home from school, she decided to ask her mother about the biggest thing that was on her mind. When she asked, her mother knew she couldn't hide what happened to them anymore, so she told Marina what happened. As time went, they came an organization which came for the purpose of helping who are children in their education. They wanted 10 students who would do better in their tests, so that they pay for their education. When Marina registered to take the test, many students discriminated Marina because of her condition. They teased was on the list of the bursary from the organization.
The next person, the last person.
Printed paper.
Sorry?
But I forgot it at home.
Okay, don't you know it off by head? Don't you know, don't you have an idea of what you wrote? So you can just story tell it instead of reading it.
It's huge.
Okay, just summarize what the story was about.
I want to remember.
Okay, please bring it next week.
Okay.
And questions?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, with the questions we'll deal with them, okay?
Okay.
So are these your original stories, or it is an example of a written, already published written story? Like the Three Little Pigs. The stories that you took, did you write them yourself or you took someone else's story?
As for me, it's my own.
It's your own original story,
Yes,
okay? Original, okay? Yours?
I had some long time ago.
You heard the story a long time ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so
When I was a kid.
okay, so it's a folk tale. For you, it's a folk tale.
Yeah.
It's a story that has been passed from one generation to another.
Yeah.
Okay? Okay? The Little Pigs. That's a very common classic story. So there is no originality in that story. You just copied someone else's brilliant story that has been passed from written from one generation to another. We cannot even say it was oral tradition. It's not even oral traditionally passed. It has been written. There is an author for it. Yeah. I also read it when I was in primary school.
Yeah. This one.
Yes, that's 40 years ago. Yes. So, in fact, if you say the Three Little Pigs, everybody knows it. So even from the title, maybe what you could have done was change the title, but you can't do that. That's plagiarism. That's against copyright. Okay. So you really cannot do that. You have to come up with your own story. Even the title itself, it's already been published by someone else. So you cannot have the Three Little Pigs. Maybe the Two Pigs, or maybe what? The only pig that's left, or maybe you can say, I'm not sure whether you can even say the Three Little Pigs and the dog. Maybe, okay? But you cannot take someone else's book title. It's already published and acknowledged that it's theirs, so they can sue you. Okay? Yes. The reading, okay? Originality, we've established. Okay, two, okay? Although one is orally passed down from one generation to another, but that's fine, you can still do it. You can even still write it. And then what you can just say is just by folk tale, okay? Orally passed down one generation to another. The other thing I wanted to talk about, okay, was the pronunciation. Can I give you an example of how you do? Maybe before I show you the example of how you're supposed to read. Some of the words you're not pronouncing properly, okay? Woof, okay? It's woof. Huffed, puffed, pulled, okay? Boiled, I wasn't sure whether it is boiled or burnt, okay? But it wasn't clear what was the word. Boiled, okay? Or boiled. Giraffe, it's giraffe, okay? Yes, it's giraffe. Named, okay? When you name something, okay? Sometimes, okay? And then there is antelope, ginger, leaves, where? There is a where, there are three different types of where, okay? Please wear your skirt. Where are you going? If you're asking for the place. We were lost, okay? So there is wear as in wearing clothes, wear as in place, and were, okay? So they were lost, okay? Bags, I wasn't sure whether you said bags or bags, okay? So it came out as bags, but I wasn't sure whether it was bugs. But bugs are found on a tree. So I was assuming that, yeah, you're trying to say bugs, not bags, okay? Brained, okay? Monkey, okay? And then, yes. So you are dragging your words. You are putting the Malawian tone into your reading, okay? So try and avoid that. Don't drag your words and make them associated to the Malawian accent. There's nothing wrong with Malawian accent, but we're trying to model good reading habits. And the curriculum is based on the British standard of English. Okay? I'm not saying adopt a British accent. I am just saying pronounce it the way it is supposed to be pronounced. And then what you can do is you can get it software, go on Google, you can type this word and just see how it is pronounced. So you can do it with you can determine what type of accent you want. Do you want a British accent, British dialect? Do you want the American? And then it will tell you how to pronounce it, because we all pronounce it differently. And we've got the Malawian African accent, but we need to still pronounce properly. Is it clear? Yes. The other thing is when you were reading, you were not varying your voice, so monotone, like for her. It was on the same level. The voice, the pitch. When say pitch is raising the voice, lowering the voice. Yours was just on the same level, okay? The cat ran down the street, okay? You didn't say the cat ran down the street, okay? So try and raise your voice where there are verbs, okay? Action words. You also raise your voice where there are adjectives, which are describing words, okay? So when there is an action in the story, when there's an action in the story, when a character jumps, skips, hops, sleeps, climbs, okay? You do the action and you raise the voice. Because you are trying to gain the attention of the reader, okay? You are trying to maintain the attention, because children have got a very short attention span. So if your voice is not varied, okay? If you're not sounding excited about what you're reading, if there are no gestures or actions, okay, the children will fall asleep, okay? So what you're trying to do is when you're reading, you're trying to captivate their attention. You are trying to ensure that they're listening attentively and that they are interested in the story and that they're engaged in the story. So I would have also expected that you would get them to demonstrate the actions, okay? Or you, while you're reading, you ask them to do something, okay? Either demonstrate it, or as you are reading, you are doing the action and then they are copying also, okay? Understood, okay? Fidgeting. When we talk of fidgeting, you were putting your hand there, someone was with their hand there, okay? And someone was almost trying to cover their mouth. When you read, please, you don't cover your mouth, okay? You cannot put anything in front of your face, okay? Your hands should not be anywhere near your face, your neck, okay? And there was no eye contact. When reading, you maintain eye contact. You are looking at the children that you're reading to, okay? That's why it is very important that before you come in with a story to read, you need to ensure that you've read it, so that you know when to stop and pause and look at your listeners. Okay? Yes. Okay. So generally, people will listen if the story is interesting and if you're engaging with them, it is interactive. Okay? Yes. Then the other thing, there was a grammatical error. Register to take test. I'm not sure. Do you say register to take a test? Registered to take a test, or how would you say it? I think was it the one?
When Marina registered to take the test.
Do you register to take a test, or you register? I'm not sure. What do you do when you're taking a test? I think it was the wrong use of the word registered here. Okay. So just ensure that your grammar is correct. Okay. Because why I'm trying to get you to write your own stories. If you work in a government school or in a private school that is underfunded, where they don't have a lot of money to buy storybooks, you can be the writer, okay? You can write those children's stories and ask parents to buy them at 1,001. You can do that, okay? So you can also, together with your learners, if they're older, you can write stories and put them in a book, and then get the class to read each story, okay? So we need to ensure that we are creating resources and materials for our reading class, because there should be a reading library corner in your class. Even if your school has got a library, yourself as a teacher should have a library corner. If you look at how many students there are, at least you should at least have half, or at least make sure that there's a book for each child. Okay? Understood. Okay? The other thing that I wanted to look at, so fluency and pronunciation. I think pronunciation is not drag the words, let's not pull the words where they're not supposed to. If it's a short it should be a short If it's long, it should not drag. Okay? Name. Name. But you don't say name. Are you understanding the difference?
Yeah.
It's a long A, but you cannot drag it too long. Okay? Are you understanding the difference? So we need to know the difference when it's a short vowel sound, when it's a long vowel sound. Okay? And consonants, you can't really. It depends how it is written. Puff, huff, okay? Puff, okay? Ha, okay? So I think what we'll also do is in this class, what we'll also do is we'll do phonetic sounds, okay? Because you need to pronounce words properly. You need to read with fluency, okay? So that at the end of the day, your children are your only point of reference. You are their role model, okay? So they will copy and imitate how you read, okay? And then again, if it's literacy, please do not speak in Chichewa. If it's literacy, if it's a literacy class, even if they don't understand, you still try to find another word that will make it simpler for them to understand. You just keep on finding another English word or a different way of saying it until they've understood. If they've not understood, you now go to get pictures. You go and get pictures and say this is a cup. Okay? Cup. So you would also teach, that's why there's picture books. You would also bring in pictures to show them the pictures, that this is a cup, this is a giraffe, okay? So you were supposed to have drawn a picture of a giraffe, okay? And leaves and stuff. So there should be a giraffe with the leaves with bugs, okay? So that you show them that this is a bug, that's a giraffe, that's a tree with leaves, okay? So you are naming the different parts of the what? Of the tree. So on a tree, we find the roots, the stem, the branches, the leaves, okay? And what do we use the trees for? We use them for shade, and for carbon dioxide, oxygen exchange, okay? So you would talk about that, okay? Engaging the readers. How do you engage the reader? Okay? You're supposed to pause, okay? Get them to think about what you've read. If it's a full stop, please pause at least 2 beats, okay? 1, 2. If it's a comma, you just pause once, okay? Okay? Because you're trying to get them to absorb what you're saying, you're trying to get them to understand what you're reading, okay? And then the other thing, they're supposed to read the story 3 times to them, okay? And then the actions makes it more interactive, okay? It makes them to be engaged, it makes them to be stimulated, to remain focused and interested in the story. Are you understanding? Okay? The type of genre, I think the Little Pigs, what type of genre was it? What type of genre would you say it falls under? We did types of fiction and non-fiction, did we not? We did so. The Little Pigs would fall under what? Is it historical fiction, science fiction, adventure? What is it? Autobiography, biography? what would it fall under? What category in terms of children's literature would it fall under? Okay, think about it and then we get back to you. Gingerfoot giraffe, it's a folk tale because it's a story that has been passed through oral tradition. Melena's luck. Is it not an autobiography because she's talking about her own life? It's a story about Melena. Okay? It's about Melena being laughed at, being discriminated, and feeling isolated, and then being able to get a scholarship and bursary and changing her life. Okay? The language language, yes, the language was appropriate, but you also did not indicate what age group your story was pitched at. Like for the three little pigs, what age group would you read that story to? What particular age group would you have that story read to? 3-year-olds, 5-year-olds, 8-year-olds, 10-year-olds?
Mine is for 4 to 6 years.
4 to 6 years, okay? And yourself? 7 and below. But 3 little pigs, yeah, okay, yeah. That's standard 1, 5, even I think from 4, 5, 3 years you can read. It depends how advanced the learners are, okay? But you can read that. Yeah, I think from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think you can, okay? And yours, I think yours even old, it's an older age group.
Yeah.
Yes, almost about 10, 11, 12, 9 going about that age, okay? So, yes, so we have identified the type of genre. So what themes were your stories? Because what is the moral lesson behind the stories that you have read? That you have written, and read. What's the moral? When we talk of moral, when we talk of themes, we're talking of moral lessons. So what lessons about life do these stories teach us? What do we learn? What are the children learning from these stories? When you talk of themes, you're talking of moral lessons based on life, good and evil. What lessons are we trying to get the learners to learn? Anyone from the stories that you wrote?
As for me,
Yes.
it's not good. I wanted to, like, if kids could read this story, I could have teach them that they should
Taught them.
not be discriminating each other, because everyone has a chance to do better in life, whether you're crippled or not. And you find that sometimes people who have disabilities are the people who do better.
Yes.
But because of we discriminate them, they get to go far. So, and it was also about encouraging people who have disabilities that they should not be looking about themselves. We have, yeah.
Yes. I think it was a very good story. In terms of moral lesson, it was a very good story. You talked about a number of things: discrimination, single parenting, poverty. These are all issues that came out of your story. So it had multiple themes, okay? There was element of poverty, okay? She was poor. There was an element of being raised by a single parent, so single parentness, okay? There was also an issue of discrimination, being discriminated and bullied. It was not only discrimination and but bullying also. Bullying and teasing are the same, okay? Yes. So it was a brilliant story because you looked at the different lessons that you were trying to teach, and I liked it because it's not a typical story that is written for children. That usually appears in children's literature, and there is a need now for realistic fiction. So yours can even fall under realistic fiction. You are teaching about discrimination, about bullying, about teasing, about poverty, okay? So when we talk of realistic fiction, we are talking about you having a story that is based on real life situations that the children encounter. Are you understanding? So it was brilliant because you actually were able to have 2 different types of genres within your writing. Are you understanding? You had autobiography, okay? You had realistic fiction in it, okay? So you chose to take 2, 3 different types of fiction genres, which is normal, which is acceptable, which can happen. And we can also talk of historical fiction because I was not sure, you left it hanging, you left it in suspense on the reason why they were poor. I didn't get it. Did you get it? The reason why they were poor? And was she disabled or what was wrong with her? That was not also clear. Was she on a wheelchair? Was she using crutches? Was she an albino? What was she being discriminated against? Yes, he talked about of poverty, yes. Those are disadvantaged children. And there is not much children's literature on disadvantaged children. Okay? And I like the fact that you chose a female character. Most children's literature focuses on the main character, the protagonist, being male, being a boy, being white, being middle class, being rich. So you moved away from the normal way that children's literature is being written. And that is the kind of books that we now want, that show and represent a diverse group of individuals and children. Okay? We're not saying all children are white, no, we've got different races. We are not saying all children are rich, we've got children who are poor, who are also rich, but social classes are different. So those children need to be catered for in the children's literature. Are you understanding? Yes. And it would also be beneficial to also children that are growing up in rich families, middle class families, so that they are aware that it's not only, the world is not only made up of rich middle class children. Are you understanding? So that you do not have, in this 21st century, someone saying black people are dumb. Okay? Because that was for a child to say that. Okay? For a child to say that, that means they never read a book with a character, of the main character of a child being black. Are you understanding? Have you understood? Yes, because there is no way a child who's read a book, okay, that actually depletes a black child being the main character, being an astronaut, being a pilot, or going on to an adventure. Are you understanding? Because then that the perception that they have will automatically change. Because they have read in one of the children's literature books that there are black children that can fly, that can actually drive an aeroplane, fly an aeroplane, okay? Is it clear? Or go up to the moon, okay? And explore and do science experiments, okay? Yes. Understood. So it is very important to bring in books that cater for different children's backgrounds. Even if you don't have a child in your class that is albino, you still need to bring a book that has a child who has albinism. Is it clear? Yeah, very clear. So yeah, that is what I also wanted to talk about. So there is a lot of limited literature. There is limited literature on marginalized group of individuals. We don't even have a lot of even females who write books in general. They are very few. Writers are male. Yet we know that women are very good communicators. Okay? Women read. They have the largest number of books of people who buy those books. But when it comes to writing, we are very few. Then go and move it to black women. Lesser. So can you see? So can you see? Even black men, very few black men are writers. Okay. So we need to actually contribute towards children's literature and represent our race and represent our gender and represent our social classes. Okay. And represent real life situations that we see so that children are aware of them and when they're aware of them, they're more likely to be tolerant and acceptant and tend to accept all the different groups of individuals that are there. Okay? Understood. I don't know so far, do you have any questions? The language part, very simple, very straightforward. It was quite good. Okay? The only issue I had, there was no figurative speech, figurative language. Did anyone use any? Like personification? Do you know what a personification is?
Yeah, like
Figurative language. Sorry? When we talk of figurative language, because yes, your language is supposed to be very unique. It's supposed to be enticing. It's supposed to grasp the attention of the reader. When we talk of figurative speech, what are we talking about? Flowery language. Language that has a lot of imagery, visual imagery, visual representation, so that you can actually see it within your mind. If we say blue sky, we can picture that the sky is blue. Okay? So you use colors also. Okay? Mary was wearing a red brightly colored coat. Okay? So use colors to actually ensure that someone is able to visualize those, what type of coat it was. Long, torn, okay? Oversized, okay? That means it was baggy, not fitting, okay? So we use adjectives to actually make our story alive and able for the children to be able to picture what kind of person we're talking about, what kind of setting, what kind of a place is this story being set or on. Okay? Are you understanding? Yes. Okay, so when we talk of figurative speech, can you give me an example? Can you give me examples of figurative speech that you can use in your children's stories? Because I would like you to perfect it, okay? I would like you to add figurative language. I think that's an aspect that I think you left out. Okay? Can we list the different types of figurative language that we have? So what figurative devices, they call them figurative language devices, figurative language devices that we can have in our children's stories when we write them. Okay? So for the Three Little Pigs, it's not an original story, sir. Mister. For the Three Little Pigs, it's not a original story, so I'm sorry, you have to go and rewrite. Okay? And then for the two of you, it was good stories, but I think add figurative language devices. So that's what we're also going to add on. So try and add that. The storylines are really good, okay? Very good. But try and add these figurative language devices, okay? And then also, before we move on to this, what were your themes? What were her themes? What were your themes? What moral lessons were your children trying to, were you trying to get your learners to learn from your story? The giraffe, the ginger, and the giraffe.
You mean the theme?
Yes, the theme, the story, the lesson. What lesson is it?
Or it was like we need to help others when they are in need of something.
Okay.
Yeah, for
Need
example.
to be helpful. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So these are things that that are related to children's literature.
Yeah.
Kindness,
Yeah.
yes. Helpfulness, yes.
Yeah, for example, Ginger was told she was able to eat food from very dropsy.
Mhm.
So she was like okay, monkey was short. And
Monkey.
yeah, man.
And when you correct, and you know what? When you correct the pronunciation of the children, don't say no, monkey is wrong. Just say monkey. Like what I said, I didn't say this. I didn't say your pronunciation is wrong. I didn't say you stop and pronounce wrong. I just repeated it in the correct manner without mentioning that you are not pronouncing it correctly. That's the thing. You understand? You just correct it and move on. Don't make a big scene. Just repeat it correctly how it's supposed to be. Even if the sentence is grammatically incorrect, you don't say that's grammatically incorrect. That is wrong. No, you repeat it in the correct way that it's supposed to be done, and you keep quiet. Eventually, every time there's an error, you're repeating, they will get it. Okay? Are you understanding? Because you don't want a child to feel out of place. You don't want them to be stigmatized, to be discriminated, because someone will say, oh yeah, you pronounce monkey, it's wrong. Okay? But if you just say monkey, move on. They will eventually know that that's not how you say it. Is it clear? Yes.
Yeah, because the Ginger, she was able to help others who was very short. Yeah. So in this story, there was kindness.
Kindness, yes.
Yeah, there was
from the summary of the story. Can you see? Can anyone pick up some of the themes? I think you were dragging. Do you mind that? So we focused on your dragging of your accent. Because I was able to actually pick up all the things. Are you understanding? Yes. And sometimes the words of the things that you want to show, put them in words within your story. So the giraffe was helpful, was kind. Okay? So then it becomes very easy to want to sometimes pick them. Although we can try and guess, don't give everything away. Show, but there is time. Okay? Through the action, then we'll be able to know that the giraffe was helpful. So the other question will be, how was giraffe helpful? Okay? So we don't, the trick of even writing in children's literature, don't tell everything. Like what you did, like it was, although I asked you and said, you didn't indicate why they were poor, why she was being raised by her own mother. Which is good, because you just stated it. You didn't tell us. So you showed it, but you did not tell us the reason. So we are still left with what? With suspense on the reason why the child was with the mother, where was the father was. Okay? Which is good. Which is brilliant. And both of you ended up your stories in suspense. There's questions on it. Okay? You didn't put an ending to it, which is good also. Because you can end a story in suspense where there is no solution, where there is no answer. Okay? Where it just ends abruptly, immediate, like this. Okay? Yes. Okay. So summarize it, and then let's look at the themes from the summary. Can you come up with one or two themes from the summary? Or do you want to read the story again with no dragging of the nice Malawian accent? Like what I just said accent. That is accent. Yes. Yes, so can you reread it for us? Okay. With improvements, using some of the comments that I have.
Once upon a time, there was a giraffe named Ginger.
Giraffe named Ginger.
Ginger lived in Kenya, a country in Africa. Like all giraffes, Ginger had a long neck and long legs.
Okay.
Because she was tall, she was able to eat food from the very top of the trees in the savannah. The savannah in Africa is an area with lots of grass and some trees. Sometimes a savannah called grassland. The other names like zebra and antelope could not reach where Ginger could reach. But Ginger always found food. She loved the leaves and the new bark of the trees. One day, Ginger was busy eating her favorite leaves along with some other giraffes. It was a bright sunny day and there was not a cloud in the sky. It had not rained for a long time, so the grass was very dry. She had a nose down at the bottom of extra long legs. It was her friend Mika, the monkey. Mick was trying to say something, but Ginger could not understand what he was saying. He looked very tired. "What's wrong?" asked Ginger. Ginger was a very kind giraffe and wanted to help everyone. Just as Mick fell over, she knew what was wrong. Mick could not find anything to eat and he was very hungry. Ginger nipped some fresh tender leaves and buds from the top of the trees where she was eating. She dropped some of the leaves and buds in the ground near where Mick was. Then she nudged him a little with the hook at the bottom of one of her very legs. "Wake up, Mick," said Ginger. "I've found something for you to eat." Slowly Mick sat up and ate a little.
It ate a little and then stopped. Okay? So what themes do we have?
She was kind
Kindness,
and wanted to help everyone.
helpful. Yes. What else?
Yeah.
Considerate.
As you said,
Concerned also.
Yeah.
Yes, because I was worried that to die out die of hunger, woke her up. You could have just left the food there, but waited patiently for her to eat.
Yeah,
Okay.
she uses her height to
What
help.
can we say about collecting the tenderness? What can we say about dutiful?
Yes, yes, very dutiful. The duty bound, yes. Was able to do chores focused as well. Okay? And then the other thing, what makes her story interesting also, it's got geography inside, okay, the geographical words there. It's got science as well. So it can fall under even science fiction, bark of leaves, grassland, savannah. But it can also fall under geography because there are geographical terms there. Are you understanding?
Yeah.
Yes. So when you describe this, so it could be, it's a fiction story, but it's got non-fiction activities there. Okay? There's a tree, we know that it's real, it's got barks, it's got leaves and stuff like that. Okay? And there's grassland. Okay, so you mix non-fiction and fiction together. In fiction events, non-fictitious events and fictitious events. Non-fiction, that means there is some subject matter in geography and science, are you understanding? Which is good, okay? Which is very good. So well done on that one, okay? Okay, so before I move on to figurative language devices, setting, where do your stories take place? Which places do your stories take place? The little pigs, where do the little pigs go? Because when you are writing a story, we should tell us the setting where the story takes place. So when you read the story of the little pigs, where was it taking place? Where was the story taking place? These are places where the pigs go. These are places where they live. These are places where the characters move to. Okay? For your place, which places were there?
The setting of the story is
Setting here.
in the rural area.
Rural area, okay? So yours was rural, the setting was rural, okay? Rural setting, yes. Was it a farm? I thought you talked about a farm. Well, I didn't hear it correctly. Was it on a farm? Okay, rural, and then they built, then they went into a brick house, okay? So brick house, it's still a place, okay? It's a building. Straw house, okay? One built a straw house, okay? And then the other one didn't build anything, right?
Yeah, stick house.
A what?
He built with the sticks.
Sticks. So stick house, okay? These are all where the characters went and lived. Or they either talked to each other at that place, or they lived at that place, or passed through that place. Because setting can be fixed where the characters are active inside. And setting can be inside the building or outside. Are you understanding? So setting can be inside. This is the classroom, it's a setting. Outside there, the garden, the pavement, it's a setting. Okay? Are you understanding? We can have both within a story. Both outdoor setting and indoor setting. Setting to do with nature, the mountains, the sea, sand, water, the toilet, it can be on the streets also. That's a type of setting. The jungle, the forest, okay? All these are types of what? Setting. A garden, the yard, at the back of the yard, a shop, a mall. These are all places where you can have your story take place, okay? To make it interesting. But you understand. So where else did the story take place within your story that you're doing? Sorry?
It was just a simile.
Okay, it was just similar, okay? It was just similar, no setting, brick house, straw house, stick house. And yours, and then you will think about where yours was taking place. Rural area, any other places that they moved to. So you can have the whole story happen just in the rural areas. They don't move into town, they don't go anywhere, it is one place. Although sometimes it's advisable to have one or two, but you can have one where it ends, where they are doing. They're just circling around. You could live in a house, but you move from the kitchen to the lounge to the bedroom to the toilet to the sitting. Are you understanding? Yes. And yourself, where does it take place? Savannah grassland. So, can you see? And yours is outdoor. Okay? All of yours were what? Were outdoors, right? But yours, no. Setting, Melena's not. They did a test. Where was the test done? So, setting, we've got different types of areas that we have within the growth setting. Is it clear? Yes. So this specific way, every time where Melena moves as a character, where the minor moves as a character, where are they going? Which places are they going? And indicate those. So we've got single settings, we've got multiple settings. Single setting is just one place where the whole story takes place from the beginning to the end. In multiple settings, we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, even 20 if it's a novel, even 100 in a novel. Okay, different places where the characters keep moving and changing. Okay, you have understood that. Okay, characters. Who are the characters in your stories? So we've got a main character, which is called the protagonist. Okay, who appears from the beginning to the middle to the end. Okay. And sometimes they might die off in the middle, or they might appear in the middle and but are there at the end, or they die at the end. Okay? But this is a character that appears throughout the story. That's a main character, okay? Or the protagonist, okay? Or major character. These are words that you use to refer to the main person in the story, okay? So for yours, the Three Little Pigs. How do you determine the main character? Sometimes the main character of the story is indicated in the book title. It's indicated in the title. So when you say the Three Little Pigs, we already know that the main character within that story is the Three Little Pigs. Okay? Yours, you've also indicated in your story, it's Melena. Melena's life from the book title. So we know that the story is about Melena. And these are the questions that you could ask your children. Ask your learners, okay? Who's the main character? From the book title, who do you think the story is about? Melena. Okay? Who do you think the story is going to be about? The Three Little Pigs. What do you think happened to them? Where do you think they were living? Okay? Okay? And yours is Ginger for giraffe. Was it Ginger for giraffe or Ginger giraffe?
Ginger for giraffe.
But what do you mean when you say ginger for giraffe? Because I thought when you say ginger for giraffe, you're actually saying you're going to give ginger to the giraffe. Not the giraffe being ginger. Are you understanding the two differences? Because if you say ginger for giraffe, you're going to give ginger to the giraffe. But if you say that the giraffe it's a ginger giraffe, yes, so ginger giraffe, or giraffe the ginger, or Ginger the giraffe, then it is what? Then it is the name for the giraffe is Ginger. Are you understanding? Is it clear?
Yeah.
Yes. So yes, sometimes we have connotations. Sometimes a statement can mean one or two different things. Are you understanding? Yes. So you need to be very clear. What is it that you're trying to put across? Okay? Because a question can have double meaning. Okay? Yes. Understood. So, for yours, it's Ginger the giraffe. Okay? That's your main character. For hers was Melena. Do we have any minor characters, any names of animals, any names of other animals that appear in your story? Other people that appear in your story? Other objects that appear in your story? In the Three Little Pigs, the farmer, right? You've got the wolf, yes. That's a minor character, okay? Who else do you have? Did you not have the farmer? Was there not a farmer in your story? No, okay. And who else did you have as a minor character within your story? Melena's friends, Melena's classmates. And her mother. So it was Melena's classmates and her mother. Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else? No? Yeah. Okay, those are the only ones. So you had, that is the three main characters, okay? There were three characters. One main character and then the other two main characters, the mother and the classmates. And for yourself?
Main character was Ginger.
Ginger, yes. Then the minor characters?
Monkey.
The monkey, yes, the monkey. Yeah. The monkey. The monkey. The monkey.
The monkey.
Yeah.
So you like So, yes, so we've got characters, okay, these are the people or animals or objects or items in the story. We've got round characters, so we've got different types of characters as well. We've got round characters, we've got linear characters, okay? When we talk of linear characters, we're talking of simple characters, okay? That don't change much within a story. So you have to identify what type of character are you going to have. Are you going to have a static character, okay? It still refers to the same thing, linear line. Okay, there is no change within the character. They start off as kind, helpful, considerate, and right up to the end they're still like that. They don't change, they don't grow, they don't transform, they just remain like that. Is it clear? Then we have round characters. These characters change. Okay? And then we've got transformative characters as well. So within your story, when you're writing your children's literature, think about what type of a character you're going to have. Describe them in detail, okay? This is a particular type of character that I want to have, okay? You can even go onto the internet and have look at pictures of different faces of people and say, this particular face or a photo is, this is the kind of type of character that I want to have. Is it clear? Yes. So when you talk about they change, they transform, they change. Okay? So they were kind, and then they decided to be unhelpful, inconsiderate, but they started off really well. We know that even with human behavior, people change. Okay? So you can find someone who's very helpful, but because of life events, because of situations, they decide to change. Okay? Some change for the better, some change for worse. Okay? So someone might have been inconsiderate, stubborn, rude, but at the end they learn from their mistake and then they change and become better. Okay? So that's a round transformative character. So determine and decide within your children's literature story, what type of character do you want to have? Okay? Is it clear? Then plot. Plot is the main event in the story. Okay? So what is happening within the story? Think of that. You need to plan, because even when you read, this is the process of writing. It's pre-planning, pre-writing activities. You are thinking about what is the title of my story, who's my main character, what are the three main events that are going to happen in that particular story. Okay? Yes. So you're thinking about it before you start writing it out. Very clear? Yes. So, can someone summarize? Yeah, not you, but someone else who you haven't spoken. Can you summarize any of the stories that was read? The plot. So the beginning, what happened at the beginning of the story, the middle of the story, the end of the story. Because even when you are reading to children, those are the questions that you are going to ask. So what happened at the beginning of the story? What happened in the middle of the story? What happened at the end of the story? So which story are you going to give us the plot like? It's called a plot diagram. Okay? Which story are you going to give us the plot diagram? Just explain, even a plot line. Sometimes it's easier when you do a plot line. Okay? So, okay. You indicate what has happened. Okay? Even with your children, you can draw this. Okay? Sorry, I was supposed to do this. Okay, you're supposed to draw this, okay? That's a plot timeline, okay? You are indicating what happened within the story, okay? Is it clear? Yeah. So what's the first thing that happened? So use words like at the beginning of the story, what happened, okay? Can you predict the story? Can you guess what happened in the story before you read the story? You understand? Okay. So can you retell what happened in any of the stories that you heard? Mister? Just pick one.
You're reading too fast, so many, please.
Okay. Anyone else who can summarize the plot? an only child story also, which is brilliant. Most stories are not written by only children. I didn't notice that one, so it's a good one as well.
Yeah, Marina, she was only daughter from a single parent mother.
Okay.
Marina, she was born in Tripoli, and she was discriminated by most of friends at school. Then after some time, the organization came the organization came in the village. They wanted 10 students, 10 best students to write the test. And the one who's going to class number 1 should be paid school fees. Yes. So since Marina was born in Tripoli, most of the friends used to tease her and a lot of things.
Okay.
Then Marina didn't bother what her friends were saying. She went and registered that she would be one of them to write the test. And at the end, Marina passed with good grades, and she was among the 10 students. She was the only one fit to be paid.
So when we read the plot, we don't do everything. We're just looking at the main actions. Okay? Okay? So the first thing that happened was Melena teased by her classmates, right? So it is just a summary brief, okay? And then she asked her mom about her condition, asked her mom, her mother. And we don't say crippled, we would say either disabled or something. Now we don't use the word crippled because it's a bit, I don't know, condescending means a bit discriminatory. It's now been removed from the vocabulary. Asked her mother about her special needs condition. Okay, and then bursary or sponsorship company, approached the school. Was it approached the school or approached her? What did they do? Approach the school, approach the class, what happened?
They went to register.
Yeah, so sponsor, okay, registered. Okay, so I think registered with a sponsor. So she registered or signed up, I think signed up. Signed up for a test, okay? I don't know whether you can say signed up or enrolled or, okay. And then the last bit, okay, signed up for a test, wrote the test, okay? Wrote the test, and then the fifth one could be passed, right? And passed the test. Who passed the test? Melinda. So make sure that when you're doing your plot, you're indicating who the characters are in that plot as the plot moves. Are you understanding? Okay? So Melinda passed the test. Okay? Is it clear? Any questions? Any questions? Nothing. Okay? Yes. So that's the plot line. Okay? Plot diagram, you can do it. This is the plot timeline or plot diagram. You do it like that. Okay? You tell us the introduction, the beginning of the story, what happens, how is the story described. You number the plots, okay? And then the falling action, and if there was conflict resolution. If there was a conflict, how was it resolved, okay? So when you're writing your story, I don't know, because when you're writing your story, you should indicate the problem. What was the problem in your story and how was it solved? Yours, the three little pigs, they did not have a place to stay, and they all decided to build a place for themselves, to actually prevent the wolf from attacking them, right? Yes. So their problem was they had no accommodation. They had no way they were vulnerable to the attack of a wolf, okay? That was the problem. And then the solution was trying to build a house that the wolf would not come in and attack them, okay? So one decided to build a straw house, one decided to build a stick house, and then the other one a brick house. And then that means the only person who was not attacked was the brick house, because then the wolf was not able to enter into the house. Okay? Yes. Yours, Melena's luck. The problem was Melena being discriminated. She was poor, okay, being looked down upon by her classmates, okay? Then how does she solve it? How does Melena solve it? Because when you talk of conflict resolution, what is the problem that the character faces? What are the issues that that character is facing? And then how does that character go about solving that issue? So there should be different ways that the character tries to solve that particular problem that you identified. Are you clear? So yours is good because they had different, these are three characters deciding to solve the problem in a different manner. Yours, is it clear really how Melena tries to solve it? She tries to solve it by what? Yes, by passing the exam, by enrolling on the test, okay? Yes. Yeah, okay? And then also by asking her mom what the condition was, maybe in order for her to understand why she was being discriminated against, okay? Ginger the giraffe, what was the problem?
Jeff was busy searching other food for other animals like monkey.
So, can you see? Who's got the problem? Do you know what? So who was supposed to be the main character? The monkey, right? Because the monkey is the one who couldn't find food and giraffe is the one who ends up looking for the food. Huh? So can you not, because when you
she was busy like finding her own food and the other animals' food.
But so who's got the problem? Because we say the main character, this is how you write a children's story. And this is generally how a story should be written. We're looking at it from the Western perspective on how a story should be written. There should be a problem, the main character should have a problem, one problem, and then you also look at how does that main character solve that one particular problem, in how many different ways that does that main character solve that particular problem. So, can you say, in this case, can you say that Giraffe, the monkey, is the main character, or it should be the monkey? Let's debate about it, let's discuss it. Because it's your story, debate it. Argue for it or for against it.
I thought the main character is the one who starts from the beginning up to the end.
Yes. So who's the main character?
Yeah.
But what issues, what problems does the main character have? Because that's how you write a story. The main character has got a problem, has got an issue, thank you. The main character has got a problem, has got an issue, and then they go about trying to resolve that issue.
Of her own, and she was busy like finding food for other animals.
So maybe the way you wrote it, maybe the way you put it across is not actually determining the problem. Can we not say the giraffe was trying to solve other animals' issues, okay?
Yeah.
So maybe the giraffe was trying to solve monkey's issues or monkey and zebra's issues. So maybe you should have maybe 2-3 different ways of how that story was solved. How the searching of the food was done. Maybe they went to a well, then there was no water in the well. Maybe he moved on and went to a hunting place and was trying to get food, and then found maybe the lion was strolling or enjoying the sun, so was scared to actually go and fetch food that was near the lion, because he was scared to get what? To get eaten up by the lion. Okay? Yeah. And then do what he then did for the monkey. Can you see? So you have to shift the plot a bit. You understand?
You said find the 50 ways, so
Yeah, so but can you see the trend? That when we're writing stories, there should be a main character with and identify what is the issue, what is the problem, and how is that problem solved in 2-3 different ways. How does that main character, still relating with the main character, how do they solve that main character? Are you understanding? Okay? Figurative language devices, okay? Let's move that. Is it 10? Okay. you read, a practical demonstration of how to read children's stories. Okay? Okay. 3 minutes to go. Okay, let me read first and then give the story, then I can demonstrate it. So it's reading for preschool, so we have to demonstrate it. 4 minutes. The 3 minutes. Let me read the classic. Okay. The 3 little pigs. Okay? Oink, oink, oink. Pigs make a sound, right? Once upon a time, there was an old mother pig who had 3 little pigs and not enough food to feed them. So when they were old enough, she sent them out into the world to seek their own fortunes. Okay? The first little pig was very lazy. He didn't want to work at all, and he built his house out of straws. Okay? The second little pig worked a little bit harder, but was somehow lazy too. Okay? And he built his house out of sticks. Then they sang and danced and played together the rest of the day. The third little pig worked hard all day and built his house with bricks. It was a study house, complete with a fine fireplace and chimney. It looked like it could withstand the strongest wind. The next day, a wolf happened to pass by the lane where the little 3 pigs lived, and he saw the straw house, and he smelt the pig inside. He thought the pig would make a mighty fine meal. Okay? And his mouth began to water. So he knocked on the door and said, little pig, let me in. But the little pig saw the wolf through the keyhole. So he answered back, no. Okay. Not by heads on a chin. Then the wolf showed his teeth and said, then I will huff. So he hugged and he puffed and he blew the house down, but the first pig managed to escape and run away to hide with the second little pig. The wolf chased them down, and he almost caught them, but they made it to the brick house and slammed the door closed before the wolf could catch them. The wolf showed his teeth But the action will show that our half and half. So when you do the when you say the word, you then do the action also. Okay? Anything else? Running, chasing, okay? Yes. So you could even bring in the costumes and they can have a wolf costume, or you can have toy animals of a wolf and pigs, okay? Pictures of a pig and a wolf, and then you can put in that. But you can ask them to also demonstrate half, let's all puff, and then stop in between as well, so that you're asking them. So, who built the straw house? Who built the brick house? What happened? And all that, okay? Clear?
Yeah.
Yes. So it is trying to make it alive to the language. So figurative language device, briefly, and then we end the lecture. Which ones can you include in your children's story? Because when you read them, there was personification. What do we mean by personification? So please choose at least 3 or 4 of these, okay? And change them within your sentences and have them, okay? Personification, what do we mean by personification? Yes, so it's a giving animals humanistic features, okay? Yes. So for example, giving objects, okay, humanistic features. Like for example, saying the chair smile, okay? I'm trying to look, the giraffe, okay? Ginger, okay? The giraffe laughed out loud, okay? Can a giraffe laugh? Or even speaking? It's personification. Yes. Yes. The chair smiled, the chair laughed, the chair screamed. Okay, the bag talked back actually. Yes, the bag. The house screamed as we entered the entrance of the door. Or the door smiled as we entered the house. Are you understanding? You've understood? The door smiled as we entered the house. Okay? Smile is a human being. Okay? Understood? Yeah. Yes. So personification, giving animals or objects human qualities. Okay? That's one. 2. What's another type? So you can try and see where you can put it in your story. If the animal is talking, if the animal is doing some carrying water, doing things that are associated with human beings, then you put personification. Is it clear? Okay. Any other figurative device that you can use within your story? Yes. And when you're reading, you should be able to identify these for all the learners. There's a personification, there's a metaphor, there's a simile for all the learners. From 8, 9, 10, 11, they should be able to know what a personification is, alliteration is, because they do in Cambridge International schools, they do that. Yes. So alliteration. Okay. The consonant sounds that the word makes. Okay. Consonant sound the word makes. Okay. That the word makes. Okay. Consonants is anything that is not a vowel. Do you know the vowel letters? What are vowel letters? Do you know the vowels? Which ones are vowels? Examples of vowels? Yes, but I and E O U, that's African. you understood?
Yeah.
Yeah. Having the same letter within the same sentence, okay? Or separating them. We can say, okay, Brian sat on his black belt. Okay? There. Brian B, black bear and belt. Are you understanding? Yes. So you can include that. And then also our assonants will be the vowel sounds now. Okay? Yes, the huff and the puff. Okay? Have understood? So it's assonants. Okay? It's the vowel sounds that a word is. Okay, so the A could be long A, or short F. Okay? The cat sat on a mat. Use of a. Are you understanding it? The cat sat on a mat. Okay? Is it clear? The use of a. Okay? The hen fell. Okay? The hen fell on the pen. Okay? Understood? Have you understood? So yeah, so use some of these, okay? Please use some of these, okay? And then, so that's an assonant, that's an alliteration, that's a personification. Simile, what about a simile? Simile in your writing, even in your stories, okay? Even in your stories, or even the stories that you bring, okay? Simile, can someone give me an example? What is a simile? It's a comparison, okay? So it's a comparison. It's a comparison between, okay? Two, okay? Simile, it's a comparison between two objects, okay? Using the word like or as, okay? Understood? Okay? So, for example, the crow is as black as chocolate, okay? The crow, that's what you're comparing, okay? The crow and chocolate. Is it clear? Is it clear? It's two comparisons using the word as or like. So we could say the crow is like chocolate. Okay? Understood? Yes. There is one comparison, there's the other comparison. The crow is being compared to chocolate. Okay? Then metaphor. Metaphor. What is a metaphor? When you're reading, you could ask all the children as well, because children's literature looks at from 0 to 15. 0 to 15 years old, 0 to 16 years old. Okay? Yes. Two objects. Okay? So it's a direct comparison without the use of like or as. Okay? Is it clear? So the crow is a chuckle, or the crow is white, or the crow is. Can someone give me another better example? The crow is black, or the crow is. I don't know how to say this because then it doesn't make sense. Okay, the crow is black. Okay. Yes, Mary is a lion. Mary is a lion. Okay? When we say Mary runs like a lion, then it's a scene. But Mary is a lion, that means she's courageous. please always tell the truth, okay? Yes. Or did I not beg you a zillion times? Did I not question you maybe 1,000 times? We know that's not possible, okay? Understood.
Yeah.
When you exaggerate, okay? Well, the cat died 10 times. Is that possible? Or he died 10 times. Is that possible to die and wake up? No, it's not possible. Okay? Yes. Anything else? Any other figurative language? Oh, rhyme, okay? And rhythm, okay? These are children that need things to write, okay? Okay? What rhyme did you have? Boys? I don't want to say boys. Men. Yes. What example could you give for a rhyme? Yeah, a rhyme. Yeah, tame, the same, lame. Are you understand? Name. Okay? There. They could be 1, 2, 3, or even 2 letters. Okay? Are you understanding? Okay? Yeah. Tame, the same, lame, name. Okay? Yeah. How many minutes are left? Okay, sorry. So that ends the lesson, the lecture for today. So it was just a reading practical lesson on how to read stories and how to write. Okay?
Yeah, read is amazing.
But go and correct them because I've given you some corrections.
So, I do should
What?
just
What is it?
Let me stop this.